the Tua era is officially over. What's up, Dolphins fans? We are back after just a short week. We were going to do a whole month or so, but guess what? Something happened as soon as we posted last episode. Obviously, free agency was coming. We knew that. I didn't think the splash was going to be as big as it was, but it was pretty formidable, and we'll talk about it today. But first thing I want to say, regarding the whole free agency thing and all the movements and everything, what's up, Jules? Welcome in.
What's up?
Yeah, we're here to talk some Dolphins football, but again, like I said, the Tua era is officially over. Officially. No holding him for a bridge quarterback. No holding him as a backup, as competition. Screw the dead money. Screw it all. Just let him go. I think this is the smart move as far as the locker room goes and just the health of the locker room and relationships in the building. Just get rid of the dude that you know is not for you. Let him go figure himself out somewhere else. And I'm in agreement with the move. I think we were gonna eat this. Obviously, there was no way around the money, the dead money that's going with it. So yeah, just cut ties. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were thinking we'd keep him because it's a lot of money tied up in the nothing or something, right? People thinking keep him, maybe have him compete with whoever you bring in, and then we'll see. But if you already decided he's not going to play for you, then it doesn't make sense. I mean, the money's gone already. It doesn't make sense to keep him. And there's already been stuff said, and it's we touched on that, right? How do you go back from that? And so I think it was the right move, because it's already been decided he's not going to play for you.
Well, apparently there was somebody really interested in him because they signed him right away.
Right away.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like. I mean, this is obviously already in the works, probably with the Falcons. But yeah, it happened immediately. So as soon as he would let go, the Falcons picked him up. They're gonna have two left-handed quarterbacks apparently, and that's the way they like to ride. Hey, Tua's still alive in the NFL. And really, he has a chance to beat out Michael Penix Jr. In my opinion. However, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not. If I was a Falcons fan, I'd be pretty upset, just because. I mean, what is, you kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Everybody knows that Tua has his limitations. I think he could be a good backup quarterback, but you're not really. I don't feel like they've made any strides forward as an organization to become a better team overall with adding Tua. I think it just brings a little bit more. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know what they're looking forward to in with the rest of the offseason and the draft and everything. But, like I said, good for Tua, though, being able to get picked up by another team. He's still getting a bunch of money, obviously, and he's just right up the road, so he doesn't have to move far if he's going to move at all. He probably just keep his family in Miami. He's close enough to just travel back and forth, no big deal, during the season and stuff if he needs to. But yeah, good for him. Good, continues to be on another team.
Yeah, definitely nothing against the guy. He seems like a cool guy. Something to be friends with or whatever. Because he's just kind of cool and a good seems like a good dude, a good person. So yeah, good for him finding a job right away.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, definitely no hard feelings with him at all. He gave us some pretty good seasons. There was one really good season, and other times where we competed. There was times where we looked like a very hot team with him. I still think he's a very capable quarterback. He's just got a lot of too many injury. He's too injury prone with his concussions, and also there's some limitations with the arm. And I think because of those concussions, those injuries with his hips as well, I think he probably lost a little bit of zip in the ball, man. Because like we talked about it during the season, when we're watching games, that sometimes it just felt very flat. And then you would watch highlights from previous years, and I mean, we used to share them with each other. Like, look at the zip on the ball was different. I mean, he never had an elite arm, but it was different. You could tell the difference in him.
Yeah, definitely coming in without an elite arm. And when something like that happens, it's going to be much more noticeable because you already have a knock on your arm, right? You already have people criticizing your deep ball and things like that. And then as soon as these things start happening, and he's rushing, right? He's rushing to not get hit. He's rushing to not get injured again, and the play calls are designed to not get hit and all that. You add all that up together, and that's what you get. And I mean, I hope that he does well. I mean, I know sometimes we say, he better suck when he leaves, but I think in this case, I wish him well. Yeah. He's a good dude. I hope that Atlanta figures out a way to keep him upright and for him to be successful. That, I'd be happy for him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, just to close this off, absolutely nothing. Wish him nothing but the best, especially going in an NFC team. We don't really have too much, to compete against as far as he goes. So if he does well, it doesn't really hurt us too much. Unless we're both, facing each other in the Super Bowl or something, which is, yeah.
Not anytime soon.
Here's to hoping, right? But anyway, for Team Miami Dolphins, that's enough about Tua, and that's probably the last time we'll mention him, at least for in a big way, unless he starts really tearing it up, and we're like, man, maybe we should have kept him more. But anyway. Back to Miami Dolphins. It happened, I guess, what everybody was wishing for ever since Sully came, and then obviously Halfley came, obviously from the Packers organization. As soon as that happened, the fan base started thinking, you know what, we need to get Malik Willis, and well, guess what, we got him. Looks great on tape, man. I mean, obviously I don't know too much on it. I know every time when he plays in Green Bay in preseason, and then when he goes in there for loves here and there, he looks good. He looks good throwing the ball. He definitely looks good running the ball and avoiding the pass rush. He's got a lot of speed. He seems like a very good, like he has a good character, like he's a good dude to have in the locker room. He seems like a very nice young man. It seems like he's very well-rounded about everything. But if that was the case, like why is it now that he's kind of looked at as a starting quarterback? And I know he was behind Love, and Love's a good quarterback. But I got this feeling, man. I hope I'm wrong. But Snoop Huntley looked very good in tape too, backing up Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
I remember if we had the same. Let's get Snoop, blah blah blah. This and that, and we finally got him. This is it. And then he was pedestrian, bro. Pedestrian quarterback. Like, so I think pumping the brakes. I'm still skeptical. I gotta see it. I gotta see him with the first team. I gotta see him. I guess the sample size has to be bigger, right? Because a lot of times new quarterbacks that don't get seen a lot of times do very well because the defenses are not used to him, right? They're like, oh shit, what is he capable of? And what are the plays gonna be? How are the plays different between him and Love and this and that? So they look probably better than they will after a bigger sample size of games and more. Just more experience out there for the defensive side as far as being able to understand how that player plays. So I'm just, I'm going to reel it back a little bit. I'm not going to get too excited and say this is our quarterback. I'm just seeing it as an addition to compete with Quinn Ewers and whoever else they add for the starting quarterback. I don't see him just running away. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard not to look at the tape and get excited,
Mm.
but you're right, absolutely right. This whole quarterback thing is fucking, it's gambling, dude. It's like it's a crapshoot every time, and there's almost as many or probably more busts in the first, as far as first round quarterbacks, than first round quarterbacks that actually made it, because
Yeah.
it's so hard to be able to pick right, and for that person to pan out,
Yeah.
and for that person to not get injured or whatever, or retire early, or and so yeah, it's hard, and so we'll give him a shot. And Half and Sully maybe know something we don't, and they've seen him closely. They've seen him close enough for them to give him a shot, and we'll just see. And again, it's a gamble, just like everyone else grabbing a quarterback. It's always a gamble. We have enough Heath Schulers and Rick Myers and all these guys that that just didn't pan out, and
Yeah.
we'll see. It's just one of those, and at least it came up, less than people thought he would be, as far as how much money we paid him and all that.
Right. Right.
So I think Sully and Half, they're going at it the right way. They had to do something like this. I think it was the best option available for us.
Mm-hmm.
So far so good. At least in the decision making process. What will it pan out? Who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah, don't disagree with the move itself. I'm not saying that I think they could have made a better deal or better move or whatever. I'm mostly saying that I'm not gonna get too hyped about this move, and that's what I'm saying, because I see social media, I see all the other media saying, very excited about it. Like a lot of, the fan base usually gets excited. So, big move, they get excited about it, even though I wouldn't say it is like super splashy move, but, the fan base is going to get excited. They like to see mobile quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Whenever there's a mobile quarterback, it's always like, yeah, this is it, but you just never know. So, like I said, pumping the brakes, reeling back. I am though excited because he is a speedy quarterback, very mobile. Could be one of the top rushing quarterbacks if need be, and as at least from the small amount of tape we got from Green Bay. But paired with Achane, having Waddle, all this speed again. I'm thinking, maybe Mike McDaniel's like, damn it, they had to get him after I left, right? But it might have been his kind of deal more, but it is more speed. So I am kind of excited to see how all that works out and what kind of packages they could put together to really get a really fast offense going. You know what I mean? So, furthermore, free agency. Minkah Fitzpatrick gone. Obviously, trying to get rid of a little bit of payroll there. Unfortunately, it's a little bit unfortunate. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick did well for us last year. I think he was a good leader in the backfield, but in the secondary. But it also doesn't hurt me that bad. If I feel like maybe he's gonna take it personal. That's twice that the Miami's kind of just kicked him. Well, actually, he left them the first time, right? But maybe this is a little bit of a, I got you back, from the Dolphins. Like, oh, good, you wanted to leave us last time. This time we'll give you the boot. But he is staying in the division though, or in the conference, and then the division, yeah. So he's going to the Jets. So we're gonna see him twice a year, and I think he's gonna have a chip. What do you think?
I don't know, man. The only thing I can say about this is that I thought maybe he was worth a higher draft pick than a 7th. That was the only thing that I thought was like, what? A 7th?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I would have, if I was him, I would have been like, damn, that's all you got for me is a 7th, right?
I know, right? Dang, man. Yeah, so maybe not a lot of people were calling, right? And then 7th round to the Jets. So that's two things, right? Like, wow, no other higher tier team was calling for me or whatever. I don't know.
That's a little hurtful to the ego, huh?
Yeah.
It's a little.
I would say,
yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I think that getting rid of some payroll was the main thing,
Main
right?
goal for
Because
sure.
you need to bring in some other guys, and so I get it. I totally
Yeah,
get it.
and Minka's not is not going to be part of the future plans, very likely. So yeah, moving on from him, get him off the payroll. We did add some guys though. One that was already on the team last year, and I'm very happy with is Dulcich. Looked like a tight end. I'm very happy to give him another go.
Yeah.
And then we picked up a couple of edge rushers, Uche and Ojabo. Both are pretty good. Both are solid pass rushers. So that's pretty good there. And then a couple of receivers. One I don't know too much of. Forgive me for I'm a straight up Miami Dolphins fans. when you talk about other teams, I'm like, especially if it's an NFC. If they're coming from the NFC, I'm like, I don't know who these guys are for the most part. So Tutu Atwell, I know the name. Can't really remember how he did last year, whatever. But Jalen Tolbert from the Cowboys, I know has had some pretty good success in the past. At least a couple of years ago, he had a solid season. So some wide receiver depth there, which I think we need. We're very low. Getting rid of Tyreek Hill. I don't know if we talked about it last week. I'm sure we hit it up real quick. But so Tyreek Hill's not coming back. We basically, off the top of my head, all I can think of right now, receiving wise, is freaking Waddle. You know what I mean? And
You still
Washington.
got Malik, Malik.
So, but yeah, absolutely needed to get to add it on some wide receiver depth there too. So, what you got?
Nothing splashy, right? I think I remember Tutu Atwell. More of a number 3 guy. I think he had a 400-yard season and a 500-yard season or something like that last year. As a member of the Rams, with so many weapons that they had, he didn't see a lot of targets. But I think he could be okay as a number 3 or 4 guy with us. So I'm happy with both moves. I mean, these are guys that are proven veteran wide receivers, and I think we still need to maybe draft one, at least one, and because we need some more actual playmakers. I think beyond Waddle and Achane, and hopefully Dulcich, develops into that. I don't think we have enough playmakers on offense. I mean, if we're thinking that Malik Willis is gonna be, lightning in a bottle, kind of, rush for 1,000 and throw for another 3, then maybe that's where that playmaking ability comes instead of having a player on the outside. But it still remains to be seen, right? We still don't know. We still don't know what we got.
Yeah, there's definitely speculation. Sorry, there's definitely speculation around the internet that Miami is highly anticipated to be tied to some kind of wide receiver at 11, which will probably in and around there. You're looking at maybe getting one of the top, if not the top, wide receiver in the draft. So
I hope so. I mean, if maybe if we're gonna talk about the draft right now, I mean, with the moves that we made, you either have to go offensive line, wide receiver, or edge rusher. I would say, not in any particular order. I would say that if any of those 3 positions, you got a top guy at 11 that just fell on your lap, then just grab the best guy that you can get out of maybe those 3. If it's one of those 3 positions, awesome.
Yeah,
I would say. I
mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, we just like almost best player available. Yeah, we probably grab him. It's gonna plug up a hole. Probably the only hole that you're probably not looking into, particularly heavy at this point is quarterback. And
running back.
I wouldn't get him that high. And then what else? Left running guard back. Was that running back and running back? Running back, yeah. We probably need some linebackers though too. I feel like we need.
Yeah, but I think you can get one in a later round though. I think if we're thinking just first round, I would say one of those, just the best available. But also, if it's one of those 3 positions, you gotta grab them. So maybe one of these 2 top wide receivers falls into our lap. There be definitely some edge rushers. It's pretty heavy on edge rushers, it seems like. and then maybe an offensive lineman. But whoever's available at that point, that's the best available. Hopefully, out of those three positions, that make me happy at least.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. There's obviously a lot to see coming up in the next few months before the next season starts. So the biggest thing happening next is the like we talked about before, is the draft. So very excited to see that. But for right now, we lost Tua. Saying goodbye to Tua today, officially, probably forever. And I know a lot of the fan base is happy about that. But like I said, I think he was a good dude. He gave us a lot of good games, some good seasons in there. And I don't wish him, any, bad anything. Like some people may really hate him. I seen it on the internet. I know a lot of it is just joking around and stuff, but at the same time, like, gave us some good years. Good luck out there, Tua. Outside the pod, wishes you good luck and a good, safe, and healthy rest of your career. But anyway, closing out. That's about it for us today. But we'll see you guys. Again, we're playing it by ear. Whenever something else happens that we could talk about, we'll go ahead and post another episode. But appreciate anybody that's in here. Give us a comment, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, get in our conversation. Let us know what you think about the new signing of Malik Willis or any of the free agents. Let us know how you feel about Tua leaving, about Tyreek leaving, about Chubb leaving. Let us know. Give us a comment. Until next time, though, keep your head up. Fins up.
Fins up.